If this game was an MMO, the one I'm GMing, you'd have so much experience and leveled up now, you'd be trying to collect gear for raids, but...
Well, that's the thing, if it was an MMO, we would be the beta testers, and then we'd have exclusive stuff.
But this is hard to level, because this is Dragon Age, with a difficult experience system that rewards struggle. What happened when they tried to cross the water? Go. You board the ship.
And Tanado was like, out the corner of his eye, did I just see that?
Well, Gabriel hasn't shared the information of the pipe with the others yet. So, the ship...
No, what I mean by did I just see that, as in, did I just see a stripy badger?
But surely not. No, it can't be.
Nah, my mind's playing tricks on me.
Well, he's got a fear of badgers, isn't he? And it's quite spiteful buggers they can be as well, actually.
Yes, apparently they're big and they got horns and they've got big dirty teeth and claws. Rah! Well, bladders are quite violent, but still, they're not giants.
They are known to readily kill Kniggets. So...
I thought that was rabbits.
Yeah, guess who's on the same ship? Tunnel's worst nightmare. A lady that wants to marry him. The Avar that his family tried to pair him to. The one who said she's going to kidnap him.
The one from Redhold.
Badger Strike Lady.
Go near him anymore. because she's not noble enough.
She's not allowed to marry him. However, she's gone along on the ship to enter the tournament.
For the glory of Redhold.
To try and win it. And become noble.
If she wins, she would technically become like a champion of Redhold.
And Tanador's family's already designated that he's to marry her.
Yeah. But he can't marry her because she's not high birth enough in this particular variation of it in that way. There's not really a way you can be high birth in an Avar tribe unless you happen to be like the Thane's child.
The problem is he's the elect of the sky.
Yes.
So he's actually proper. He's amongst the nobles now.
Yes. Yes. He's got a title.
Yeah. At least for the Avars, because obviously the Thanes and the whatever they're high.
Thanes and the Jarls. If we're going to be talking in Nordic terminology. And the shaman, whichever one it is, I don't particularly care how you pronounce it. I guess they are considered, well, maybe not noble, but important.
Mm-hmm. Well, probably a few different tiers.
Speaking of which, we heard some interesting information about him from Her Lady Baranti, about how the Thane of Redhold got the disease, died from it, and now the shaman has it.
Well, he's been taken sick.
Yes, at the very least.
So, if the leader of Redhold is now dead, and his son is now in control, what the hell does this mean for all of it?
With the shaman now sick, possibly dying himself, it would put Karak as his apprentice, as shaman of Redhold. In theory. If that's how it works, I got no bloody clue.
It could well work like that.
Especially since Karak is actually part of Redhold now.
Yeah.
And being the shaman of Redhold technically makes him immune to Templar rolling? I don't know.
I suppose it does. Oh, Christ! He's probably got political immunity!
Because Avarians don't follow the traditions of the Maker. They have their gods. The Avar gods.
He might be able to practice magic openly.
Yeah, he could be designated as... it's like, okay, here's where we come along with the lethal weapon, whatever number it is, jokes of diplomatic immunity.
Well,
if it does make him an Avarian ambassador, yeah. Fucking hell.
The Badger Lady is called Agnes. Nicknamed Aberdeen Agnes. After the beef. Well, yes. We did liken her to being more like a man, didn't we, in stature, Very much like Brienne, going back to Westeros. However, somewhat like Sir Davos as well. Except for the lucky charm of knuckle bones to be worn around the neck, she probably would keep her testicles that were cut off. So, Agnes is Pete's new character.
Mm-hmm.
With full intent of joining the group.
Yeah. Oh. Which means, Tanado, you can't get the fuck away from her now. Not that easy.
That's 2 Avar warriors.
Yeah. Well, this one is slightly different.
Oh yeah! Dual-wielding axe maniac berserker. Already specialised.
Yep.
Comes in at level 6. Ready.
With the berserker specialisation. Dual wielding.
Tanador's not even built for that yet.
No.
Because of the lack of willpower.
Tanador Jez did say it was the only one that he felt like he would go for, but because of how Jez is, he keeps forgetting what he requires to get up to that level, which means he's going to have to wait till like level 10 before he can actually get the first specialisation point for Berserker. But that's if he bothers to put willpower up twice before 10. If he doesn't, he's probably not even going to get one specialisation throughout the entire game.
If he doesn't get anything throughout the entire game, I might unlock something else for him. As an alternative.
I'll be quite frank, I'm surprised they didn't put Reaver in yet.
Yeah.
Considering the beta testers had Chevalier, which basically is just French for Cavalier.
They were all over that. We've got to bring in the horse thing now. Haven't they? The whole rules of that. I'm still saying they should have done Tier 3 as 5 levels and Tier 4 as 5 levels. Not bunched it all together in one book.
That way you could have had the extra ones that are not part of the canonological lore or whatever the hell else don't show up. I mean, Force Mage I can understand.
We don't even need to have had extra everything in every book. There could be other things.
Yeah, but if they wanted to put specializations in there, then it's additional material content. You could have just done a whole bloody book about it.
We would have had it by now. If they'd have just split the levels up, we'd have had it. And seeing as these are the hardest
levels to get up to,
slowest ones to level in, you know?
Yeah, especially since we're also meant to be having another book of modules, but let's not get into that because that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Interesting things happened that night.
Tanador
is hiding from Agnes.
After she had a conversation with Karak. In fact, he's not hiding in his room, he's hiding in Karak's room.
Yeah.
With Harold, the tiger.
Tanador first tried hiding out up in the crow's nest.
But Gabe's up there with a...
Well, Agnes was up there.
Yeah, she was at the time.
At that time. She'd somehow followed him up and he dived overboard and just caught onto the ledge just enough.
Karak walks over and is like, looks at it, looks at Blacktail's like, come on, let's go get a drink.
Tanador gets himself aboard, hides in Karak's room. Karak has a pint.
Gabriel just looks up from the crow's nest to where Tanador is like, what the bloody hell are you thinking?
Tanador didn't care about jumping off of the crow's nest.
No.
It was actually a miracle roll that he clutched the side as he did.
Yeah.
I had to test several things, multiple things, and he had to miracle roll to not take severe
Well, let's put it this way.
damage.
From that height, if he had hit the water, in real life, that could be insta-kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you land wrong, if you can land right, you might just survive.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty...
But again, would
threshold.
the character even know to do that?
No.
Irregardless of the player.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
There's character knowledge versus player knowledge again.
You know, you fall with your feet together.
However, on that subject of character knowledge versus player knowledge, Craig in real life knows a lot about alcohol and booze and wine casks and the like. He can implement that into play through Karak, who is also big on drinking himself.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That's the only one of those times where player knowledge and character knowledge can intermingle. Where both the character and the player would know it.
Yeah. Well, hell, even Blacktail likes a pint.
Yeah. The fact is, you're hanging around with these guys, everybody in the party's got to have constitution stamina focus. It's not for stamina, drinking focus at some point.
Yeah.
It's just RP, it's going to happen.
So he's been trying to trying to avoid Agnes, and he's hiding in Karak's room. Karak was having a word with Agnes, and
Like,
she was
trying to figure out how to get him into bed.
yeah, how do I get Tanador kind of conversation. And he's been advising Tanador. He said, look, just go.
Just get it over with.
Get it over with. Get it out of her system.
Maybe she'll leave you alone afterwards.
She probably wouldn't, would she?
Probably not. It's like, look, I'm not going to ever be drunk enough to do that.
Yes. Especially now Pete's playing her.
Uh-huh.
Which we knew why it was safe to let Pete play her.
Uh-huh.
And Pete's going to try and win that tourney.
Yes, because this is Pete. He likes winning tourneys. From what I remember you telling me before, and especially what happened during Warhammer Fantasy 1 we came cooked up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's rather good at tourneys. So...
Because when he won that one.
Nighttime comes anyway. And Tanador was hiding in Karak's room, and
Karak's sleeping in that room, and Cheese is in that room, and so is Harold, and so is Blacktail, and they're all scrunched together in one big-ass room.
Yeah.
Well, it's not actually a big room, it's a small room. It's a cabin, isn't it?
And nighttime comes. And Gabriel's out on a date.
Yeah.
He's having a date up in the crow's nest.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Gabe is pretty much the ladies' man.
Tanador and Karak are having a sleep, I guess sleeping off some alcohol. They start having curious dreams. Weird dreams that they're walking on a path together and going through a strange town and encountering these weird things. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
And so the strange town turns into Redhold.
They're together walking.
That's the point.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Now, you've heard of the spell dream sending. Now, you imagine a more potent version of that could affect your sleep in such a way as to make your dreaming move your physical body and to sleepwalk.
Yeah.
What manner of soul-attached enchantment
is this?
Well, whatever it was, it affected Karak and Tanador, and they sleepwalked out of their room and onto the deck. Blacktail was curious and followed.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Agnes is still in bed. Gabe sees them come out onto deck and start walking around looking all glazy-eyed.
Yeah.
And he's looking down thinking, what the hell's going on? He's watching. Now there's a storm. Kicks in again. Begins to kick in again at this point. And, your date is like, oh great, we've come up here and we're probably going to be hit by lightning. I'm going to have to get down.
Yeah.
So I guess she starts leaving at this point. And I guess you curse the weather.
And then there's a nice bolt of lightning that goes off.
Now, 1 minute, there's nothing on top of the mast. The lightning flashes. And then suddenly someone's standing on it.
He's standing on the rigging from what you've made it out.
Well, yes, one. Pretty much.
And he's not just standing on the rigging. He's standing on the rigging. He's standing straight up. Not leaning against it. Not falling. Not moving at all.
Not wobbling. And he's got his hands behind his back.
He's completely perfectly balanced. Not bothered by the wind. Or the rocking of the ship or anything.
And he's watching Karak and Tanador. That's not good.
No, it's not.
And then he drew a big nasty sword that was superheating.
Yeah.
And Gabe saw a glint of metal under the hood.
Yeah.
The Squire.
Gabe doesn't know anything about Squire.
He's back.
They didn't tell him about Squire because they thought Squire was dead.
Yeah.
Don't look like he's dead to me.
He slid down the...
He fell quite a considerable way with a chunk of ice on him.
Gabe's thinking, what the hell am I going to do?
He's outroguing me.
He slides down the rigging, down the sail, and hits the deck, and goes to attack Karak.
Yep. Gabe starts to scramble down the rigging on his side, because he wouldn't have been able to
he's
stop
probably
it.
like, oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Double shit.
Many shit.
It's like It's like Dick Dastardly. Drat and double drat.
So,
although in this case, Muttley would be Blacktail.
Yeah.
And Blacktail would be like, gimme.
Well, I then got Craig to do an attack for Blacktail. And then the damage expressed, I said, right, apply that to you. And of course, Tanador's not wearing armour.
Yeah.
And the damage indeed was applied to him. It was an attempt to snap him out of it. So I had him take willpower to try and get out. And he eventually got out. I think on the second go, wasn't it?
Second or third.
Eventually. It was quite difficult to snap out, but it got easier the more he got bitten.
Yeah.
And he finally came round, but Tanador was sucked in it because his willpower sucks. With aforesaid not levelling up willpower. Tanador couldn't snap out of it.
Ended up relying on Blacktail to bite him as well.
He finally gets out of it, while Karak's
mind blasting.
Yes,
the fuck?
Now he's keeping him mind blasted down.
Yeah.
Again, and again, and again.
Every time he tries to get away.
He's knocked him over to the edge and he's leaning against it and gets blasted down and he tries to scramble his way back up. He looks like Michael Myers.
And
down
somewhere
again.
In between the halfway point of getting to the edge, Gabe's like, right, fuck this. Pushes himself away from the rigging. And as he falls, draws Spite and Sorrow, which aren't heated at this point.
No.
And comes down on him.
Now, I made him do a shitload of rolls, really challenging stuff, or else he could, like, break something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm serious with it.
Yeah.
And he succeeds. So
just barely.
So
it's just by pure chance.
You land straight on him and smack him down.
Yeah.
And then the whole damage kicks in. And then Agnes has been stirred because her dear Karak is in trouble.
Tanador, not Karak.
Her dear Tanador is in trouble.
It's like Tanador's senses are going off.
Yes, exactly. And so she knew to rush out of her room and you know, sends him out. So she runs to his aid and starts
taking swings.
Attacking Squire too. Poor Squire!
He's getting beat up on. He's like, I wasn't expecting this.
He's drawn these two out to try and kill them, unawares.
Yeah. That didn't quite work.
Blacktail's changing everything. Or else he could have got a quick kill in on Karak and Tanador.
Yeah.
Before Gabe would have even got there.
Yeah. And then as he's trying to get away, Gabe's slowing him down some more by knocking him to the ground as well, on top of Karak's Mind Blast.
Because, you know, it would have been pretty much coup de grace status.
Yeah, at that point. Probably would have been insta-kill.
Yeah.
And then Agnes comes in and she throws the odds against Squire even more. And Squire's then knocked over the edge of the ship and he's hanging on.
Yep.
And he does something drastic.
Well, he'd already set something drastic to happen. Yeah. Which then kicks in.
But he's puts a hand to his own throat.
His throat starts burning.
Yeah.
And he's got a hand to his throat and something's glowing underneath.
And Karak's like, right, he's got a magic necklace. I want it.
So you're grabbing his arm and trying to pull it free, and his one grip against all of your hands is holding.
Yeah.
Inhumanly strong.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it?
No.
That really bothers you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Especially since he's already come back from the dead.
People are theorising, there's lots of squires and there's...
Is he a golem? That has a spirit transfer all the time when one dies and a new one takes its place.
So many theories banding around now about the Squire.
Or is it like the Doctor and he regenerates?
What do you guys think? What do you think Squire is?
Is it, or is he like the Doctor and he just regenerates, but he's only got a set limit of regenerations?
Yes, well...
only you know the truth.
He's hanging on the edge, and the trap that he's already put in place goes off. Big explosion. Something burns through, and the cargo that was hanging falls, smashes
I'm kind of surprised there's cargo hanging.
Yes.
But there's a reason for that, I'm guessing. And we're having to jump out the way to not get hurt. While Squire lets go and falls into the ocean.
I think he's got some real fancies
on
board. Some real expensive fancy cakes.
Which are now all ruined, for the sake of purposes in this case now.
And the footprint they'd have left on the deck itself would have been too much. he was going to get a lot of money for these. So suspending them
And now
on like a little frame was the best way to do it, they figured.
And now it's all ruined because Squire set it to the rope to burn off and smash into the ground.
It was even set...
Well, not the ground, the deck.
It was even set with 3 ropes. To secure it.
Yeah, so Squire fucked that over, didn't he?
Yeah, and it falls and hits the deck, smashes, everything goes everywhere, splinters of wood goes everywhere.
And
you guys all get damaged, Squire gets smacked off the edge, hits the water, you don't see him again.
Sinks to the bottom for all we know.
Presumed drowned.
And Carrick and Tando are like, right, that's the last we see of that bastard.
Phew. Do you think that's the last they'll see of Squire?
Look, quite honest, as a player, I'm not so sure.
Comments below. So, anyway.
He's already come back from a great big ass fall.
Yeah.
And as you just said, like Michael Myers, what's to stop him from coming back again?
Now, the captain was none too happy. He blamed Carrick and Tanador and said, "These guys are here to kill you. This Squire bloke, this assassin, he came for you. This is your fault. You brought this to my ship. And now my cargo's destroyed. I've got no reason to go to Navarra. So guess what? I'm going to have to pull up short. I'm going to have to pull up short at the next possible dock."
Pull up short? At Freeport!
Somewhere in the middle of the waking sea. That's right, guys. We've taken True 20 system by Green Ronin, Freeport.
Basically, from what I can tell of the waking sea, since it's a big stretch of water, it's not a river, it's not a lake, it's not any of that shit. It's a pretty big stretch of fucking water.
It's a massive estuary that is a sea.
It's basically like the channel between England and France.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah. Except you guys had to, instead of travelling straight across it, you had to travel all the way along it.
We had to go like that.
From Denerim, come all around the islands, round Denerim, and then go along the whole stretch of water.
Yeah, if you go by the map, yeah.
To even get to the section of Navarra, where you can come in.
Or at least a port closer so we can go by land.
Yeah. That's it. So...
But now we're stuck in Freeport.
Yeah. And he said, well, that's it. You know, be glad I don't bill you.
Be glad I don't just chuck you off chuck you off right here before we get to Freeport. Make you swim the rest of the way.
And because they were saying, oh, this ain't no good, you know, you've got to take us there and all this. But no. No. So there was a lot of disappointed people. And of course, Agnes is stuck with you. Similarly. So she decides she's going to have to hang around you.
Funny thing is, she's got communication seduction.
That is very funny, isn't it? So, anyway.
Ah, dear. Yes.
You were lost in Freeport. And there, the bustling city island, which doesn't exist in canonical lore, but has been added to my age campaign.
By Green Ronin.
And I've decided to use it here, because they said you can use it in any of your campaigns you so wish.
It's not specifically, sorry, I've been too much Andy. Gets into your head after a while. Specifically built just for one system.
On a suggestion from the forum, I've decided that it's going to be in the Waking Sea section, where it looks like the water goes into a little bowl, roundabout at or just above where the W is on Waking on the map. So that's where you're left off. And you're stranded there, and it's over. For now.
Credits roll.
Next episode, which you actually played tonight.
Well, tonight for us filming, but we'll be
filming, yes.
Sometime further on for you guys when it actually comes up.
Further on. So, until then, what the group get up to with Death in Freeport, I'll see you at the table.